Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Zabi here, back again with Attack on Titan Season 4. We are on Episode 4, and in the last episode, it was a really, really good one. I think, just for the sheer fact of, it's the full circle episode. Everything that, we have known since the very first episode of the show, we didn't know everything leading up to that moment, that initial attack when, they all look up and they see the Colossal Titan's head sticking over the top of the wall, and that they can't believe how big it is. We got all of that information leading up to that moment, and it's just a really cool feeling, I suppose, just seeing those moments leading up to that. And then not only just the fact of, obviously when they, they are on Paradise itself, but also beforehand when, they are training, and the fact that Reiner was never actually supposed to be there, I think is the shocker of that, because, it was Marcel that didn't want his brother to go, and whether or not he was obviously, he was talking to the brass, obviously, to get it changed, but whether or not he was sort of bigging up Reiner's abilities or tearing down his own brother so that he wouldn't go, I don't know. But clearly, Marcel had some influence in, making Reiner go. And it's even more interesting, the fact that Reiner was the only one to actually come back. He was the one that wasn't supposed to go, but he was the only one that returned to, across the sea. So yeah, very cool episode. So one thing that I didn't know what the hell Annie was doing, thank you for the people that did tell me. So yeah, it was the grasshopper that was earlier on in the scene, and Annie was essentially killing that thing, and people made some good points in references to Annie was basically trying to become more, I guess, less humane by doing so. People were obviously referencing the fact of Levi's group, that happened episode 21 of the first season, which I mean, I totally get it. It totally makes sense now, all of that, but the fact of she is just trying to anything to become sort of more objective about the mission that she's about to undertake. She needs to become used to it almost in a way. So yeah, really, really cool. So it basically was an episode about almost what was going on in Reiner's head, everything that led up to to the moment where they got inside the walls, and sort of learning about his comrades, his cadets that he was with. And almost it's like the regret piled on onto him to the point where he was almost about to take his own life. Which is sad. But towards the end of the episode, when we had Eren actually crop up in this season and start talking to Falco, we learnt that Eren seems to know a hell of a lot more about the situation going on. So I don't know how long he's obviously been, over here, but it seems as though he understands what Reiner and everything was going through and the reasons why they were doing what they were doing, which is something that from there, they themselves have been wanting answers to that question for so long now. They just thought of them as just traitors, and that was it. But now Eren seems to really understand what is going on. One thing I do want to, just before we get into the actual reaction, is that I was watching season 2, episode 11, and Berthold said something that actually caught my attention. So he says, he's quoted as saying, if we are really comrades, then someone please find us, essentially. Now, I don't know if that was, specifically in the English dub where that was said. If in the English sub it's said a bit differently, I don't know. It's just that I was watching a reaction from somebody else, and they said, so Berthold essentially says, if we are comrades, someone find us. And I wonder if at that moment in time, Berthold was actually referencing if he wanted the cadets to actually find them in Paradise, sorry, not in Paradise, over in Mali, to kind of get them out of the situation that they're in within those internment camps and everything like that. Those I wonder if that's what he was going on about there, which is interesting to note. I just thought I'd bring that up because I thought it was interesting that Bertolt would say that, you know. But yeah, I mean, pretty much that's you know, what I need to talk about in there for the, you know, with the pre-discussion and everything like that. So I think we're just gonna get in episode 4. So yeah, the reaction again will be here on YouTube. If it isn't for whatever reason, like if it gets taken down for copyright in the future, I'll re-upload this as a discussion video, and the reaction will be in the link in the description. As always, the link to the full length of this episode is in the description below as well. If you want to watch my reactions to the full length of this episode and previous episodes, then that link will be there for you. But yeah, nothing else to really talk about. So we're going to get into episode 4 of season 4 of Attack on Titan and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Seems happy.
何ですか、クルーガーさん。手紙を送りたいんだが、この収容区からじゃ中身を確認されるだろう。いいですよ。
Interesting.
まあ、俺がここに無事にいるって伝えたいだけなんだ。
Trying to get that information across. Oh, look at that post box. He's going by Kruger. From one hand to another. Oh shit, they're here. Fucking hell, he's tall. Willie. Great. Bloody hell.
見抜けましたか？一族の誰が戦鎚の巨人か。
いいえ、見当もつきません。本当にここにお越しになっているのかさえも。
しかしいますよ。
Okay.
戦鎚の巨人はこの中に。
I wonder if it's the tall dude. I wonder if it's that
こ
god.
こにはヘロス像を見に来たんだ。100年前、人間でありながら大地の悪魔を打ち破り、世界を救ったマーレの誇る英雄、ヘロスの勇姿を。
Hellos.
マーレ人の戦争とは新聞の活字にのみ存在します。字を読むだけで領土が広がるのだから楽でいい。もしマーレを裏から操る者がいるなら言ってやりたい。党に手遅れだと。
察しの通り、この国はタイバー家の権限下にある。我々はマーレの食材として自由と力を与えた。結果、エルディアもマーレも闇夜に投げ出された。
Interesting.
その責任はタイバー家にある。英雄像を見に来たのは嘘ではない。マーレには再び英雄が必要なのだ。
I didn't think that, like, that would be the case.
ニク、何やってんだよ。
こっちの方がしっくりくるんだ。びっくりさせちゃった。
Bloody hell.
その意識から壁の北側の山岳部に行くほど守りは薄くなっています。
では北側から叩くべきか。
それも一つの手でしょうが、南は調査船団を失ったように、敵の注意が集中していますので、鳩場が破壊されている可能性もあります。
Well, nothing's changed. Look at Falco go.
ファルコがガビを抜いた。
He actually did it.
一度勝ったくらいであの騒ぎだ。まったく、こっちの気も知らないで。
すげえな、そりゃ。次の鎧はポーズで決まりだ。
Bloody hell.
今さらあんたが比較対象になるわけない。
軍はまだ鎧の継承者を発表していない。
Suppose it could be a similar situation to what happened with Reiner, I suppose.
何のためにそこまでするの？お前のためだよ。あら。はあ？私の邪魔しといて、私のためだって言いたいわけ？
Yep, I guess just quite dense.
何あいつ？何なの？
Fuck's sake. A fucking nincompoop. Fuck's sake.
本当にこの収容区の中で宣戦布告をやるのか。
なんだか劇場みたい。
I wonder if we're gonna hear it today.
マーレの問題は全て解決して最高だな。
無理だって思ってるの？
先月まで殺し合ってた中東連合の国々も含まれるんだぞ。外国のエルディア人に対する敵意はここの日じゃない。
じゃあ、なおさら何もしないわけにはいかないでしょ。
じゃあ、お前はどこを直すんだよ。
私はありのままで問題ないでしょ。 可愛いし頭もいいもんだから。あんたら今度ファルコひいきしたら泣かすから。悪魔じゃねえかよ。
ほう、大掛かりな解体工事が必要だと。
老朽化が深刻でしたので、軍は国家のものです。そしてこの国の最高司令官はあなたです。
先代の誰もこれを握ろうとしなかったのがわかる。重すぎる。たまたま順番が回ってきただけの男なんだよ。
A lot of weight on his
家は
shoulders.
倒壊寸前でしたが、使える柱も残っていました。その者どもによると、我が家にはすでにネズミが入り込んでいるようです。
やったじゃないかファルコ。
クルーガーさんのおかげですよ。正直今からガビの評価を上回るとは思いませんが。
どうも手紙のやり取りを手伝ってくれておかげで助かった。
それは家族の方からですか？
Baseball glove.
難しかったが俺も進まないとな。
先生が来ます。
Does he mean that literally?
俺行きますね。
区の診療医のイエーガーだ。ここにはたまにお茶を飲みに来る。
He's Jaeger.
よろしくクルーガー君。先ほどの少年とは仲がいいようだね。あの少年の叔父はエルディア復権派の幹部だった。少年ら兄弟も家族を守るために戦士に志願し、彼の兄が獣の巨人の継承権を得たことによってようやくグライス家は安泰となった。
That was Aaron's father's right-hand man, Grace.
おかしな疑いをかけられてはグライス家の努力が無駄になってしまう。
家族に悔いがあるようですね。
あの日息子は妹を連れて壁を出た。私が普段から厳しくしすぎたんだ。医者をつけた。
Oh, because it is. It's his fucking grandfather, dude. I was thinking. I didn't immediately realize because obviously he looks so different from fucking the last time we saw him. But Jesus Christ.
開いたグラスが出てきた。かかれ。
Oh my god. That's so efficient.
汚れたちが皿を運んでいるぞ。
ああ、通りで飯が似合うわけだ。
God. Oh no.
申し訳ございません。
夫人、いかがなされました？
Everything's fine.
お恥ずかしい。ワインを着物にこぼしてしまいまして手を借りていましたの。ど
うして？
あなたがどんな目に遭うかわからないでしょう。
Shit in hell.
あの人は東洋から来たヒーズル国の人だ。
Interesting. I was going to ask because she was in a kimono.
旧姓の末裔よ。
オグエの大使、お久しぶりです。
覚えてるか、ビリー。
あの時木から落ちた
He's
傷だ
friends with
な。
everyone. This is how they're so sure that they're going to get the world on their side.
しかし、昨日の敵は今日も敵。いや、失礼。昨日の敵は今日の友。
Well, that was the wrong way to fucking make the impression, wasn't it?
平和に。
Jesus.
明日は皆様をレベリオ収容区に招待させていただきます。そこはかつて多くの国の民を虐殺したその悪魔を使って他国を虐げ、悲劇は繰り返された。エルディア人の根絶を願う気持ちはよくわかります。私はこの終わりのない問題に対して一つの回答を導き出しました。
Oh God. I wonder how this is gonna go, man. Festival started. I don't know if I don't think we're gonna hear whatever this speech is. Fucking hell, dude. Yeah, they've never had anything like this before. Poor Rainer, man.
お前が欲張るからだろうが。
He never had this stuff as a kid.
なんだかね、最近初めてのことばっかり起きるの。
そうだな。
何かが変わりそうな気がするの。
ああ。
Oh, fuck. Different style ending. I don't know how this is gonna go, man.
ファルコは？
さっき知り合いを見つけたとかでどっか行きました。
Is it Aaron?
こんな日に固いこと言うなって。
ブラウン副長、
あんたどこ行ってたの？
ちょっといいですか？
一体どうしたんだ。
Oh,
行けばわかりますよ。
oh my god, fucking hell.
こちらです。
I swear to God if Aaron's in there, man, dude. Fuck, he's in here! Oh no, no, God!
よ、
God!
4年ぶりだな、ライナー。
Fuck, you're gonna end! God! I can't believe it! Fucking hell! Holy fuck. Holy fuck. This is literally what I was just talking about, dude. I was just talking about it, like, in the previous episode, that, like, because Eren now understands, he seemingly understands everything, like, that happened. The reasons why Reiner and you know, Bertolt and Annie came into the walls and did everything that they did, that he understands that I wanted a fucking meeting between these two. And I'm not talking about a fight, I want them to, like, air out everything. Shit! Fuck, I cannot wait for next episode now. I really can't. Jesus. This is going to be great. I was wondering if we were even going to get the speech this episode, but we didn't. So that's, you know, obviously going to be... Fuck, next episode's going to be nuts. Because, you know, Taiba has a solution to whatever's coming next. I can't believe, like, the way that, like, they... It's such a drastic thing, like a drastic change, that, like, it's like the Taibas themselves are the ones that control Mali, and I was wondering why, like, they were like this very sort of influential, rich family that live in their mansions and everything like that, yet are in control of the Warhammer Titan. Because it kind of did go against that idea that, like, you know, they see the aliens as devils, and that they, you know, like, they use them essentially against each other as, like, that kind of, you know, like, it's just, it's a weird sort of, it's such a weird dynamic. But the thing is that, you know, the Taiba family have influence everywhere, it seems, in the world. I mean, it seems that way, because they even have, you know, Asian people here, you know? Which is interesting, because before, like, you know, in, you know, back in the walls in season 1, it was like a thing that, you know, people had never, or like, basically Asian people were rare, right? And like they'd been told that, you know, like almost they were sort of running out when, you know, the world went to shit, because obviously it, like, you know, the story inside the walls is that they were like the last bastion of like humanity and everything, right? And they were the only people left, and that, you know, Mikasa's family on her mother's side, you know, was Asian. So yeah, but like, you know, outside the walls, of course, that just isn't the case. It's not as, you know, as, it's just, oh, it's crazy. Well, yeah, which, I mean, basically because of that, because of the influence that the Taibas have with seemingly everyone across the world, and they all like him, like, you know, specifically Willie anyway, that I don't know what this solution is going to be, because it seems as though Willie Taiba himself, like, the way that he talks about it seems as though, like, he is responsible for like, you know, Mali being that warmongering nation, and you know, the Eldians being, you know, like, claimed as like sort of devils and stuff, and it's like he kind of puts that stuff on his own shoulders. And obviously we had him where he was explaining that, you know, this, like, all of this sort of influence, I guess, all of, you know, people kind of look to me. Fuck, I don't know how this is going to go, man, because it could go like multiple different ways. I mean, the letters that Eren was, you know, giving to Falco to send, which I assume is obviously sending to, you know, the rest of the group, like, you know, like Levi and, you know, and Mikasa and Armin and everything, seemingly setting up something like, you know, like, it's time, almost, you know. I don't know if he would have sent them, like, you know, messages saying, I'm going to meet with Reiner or anything like that. I don't know if they would... I almost don't know if they would allow that, you know. Because Reiner's still the Armored Titan. And they can't, like, you know, they can't guarantee that Reiner isn't just going to, you know, try and capture him. Especially when he's on his own. So I feel like maybe Eren might be doing that of his own accord. Fuck. How is next episode gonna go, man? I'm really, really curious. Eren, yeah, he's going by Kruger as well. That's his, like, under his disguise. I love that. I love that he's obviously taking it from Kruger that, you know, was the owl and everything like that. And then his granddad coming in. Fuck. Obviously, we've only seen once in, like, episode 20 of season 3, which was obviously, you know, Jaeger talking about his dad, that, you know, his dad was just, you know, it's like he didn't care about his daughter, and now, like, we see that he has regret now. But I guess that's just, it's just what it is for the Eldians in this internment camp, that they're just, it's just driven into them that it's like they can't, you know what I mean? It's like they have to follow the rules or just kind of, you know, pass aside this idea that, well, you know what I mean, that, you know, his daughter died and everything like that. But it's interesting that they brought him back, and just having him, like, Eren talking to his granddad, you know what I mean, which Eren would know. Like, surely he would know, right? Like, he would have that memory, obviously from his dad, right? So he knows. But his granddad doesn't know that that's his grandson. I was wondering, like, because obviously he came out with the red armband, right? Which, you know, means that they're honorary Malians, and you know, I was wondering, like, who the fuck is this? But yeah, I remember that they were, like, obviously they were saying when Zeke obviously decided to tell Marley all about what Grisha was doing and everything. That Zeke had obviously sided with his grandparents, right? So yeah, it makes sense that, you know, they're still there. But the fact that, you know, his granddad is actually in the sort of the hospital, and also because of that regret of everything, like with his daughter and everything that happened, it clearly weighed heavily on his mind to the point where he's quite sort of, you know what I mean, like he feels that a lot as well. So it makes sense that he's in that hospital for you know, psychiatric treatment or whatever. But yeah, that's just a cool, like, kind of, I guess, conversation between those two. So I guess back to the Taibas. So Willie said that the Warhammer Titan is actually here, and he asked, you know, he asked the commander if he knew which one it is. And my immediate reaction, like my immediate thought was, it's not obvious, I don't think. Because the obvious answer would be like, oh, well, you know, it's Willie, of course. But, you know what I mean? But, no, I don't think it's that. It's almost, I think that it's almost obvious that it's not going to be anyone obvious. And my first thought is that tall guard who opened the door. So hear me out on this. I think that there has to be a reason why this specific guard is so tall. Like that is a a character trait that for a random guard to have, kind of it's interesting, put it that way. The fact that they had so many guards like out front, right, like their own personal guard, all like the same height, but the one that's inside almost feels like the personal protector, like of, you know what I mean, like the ones that are like right there, like the sort of you know what I mean, like that, because they're obviously they're all of them are the personal guard, but I feel like that's the tall one is the one that stays close. And the fact that he's the one that's like really, really tall, I just feel like it's so, you know what I mean? I don't know. Could be a red herring though. Who knows? It could be. But I just feel like it would be interesting just to have that, and also like have it not be obvious. Like maybe they're thinking that, of course, like we wouldn't, and also that means we're going to die earlier if we have it. So by giving it to like, you know, a god, clearly it must be someone obviously that they trust. Whether or not it's like a line, like a family line of like sort of personal guards that, you know, take it from one to the other. I feel like because of their influence and everything that they wouldn't want it. They wouldn't want the Titan power because obviously it shortens their life dramatically. So I think it's the guard. Gonna go on a limb, say it's the guard. And then he was talking about Helos, so a hero of Mali. You know what I mean? Somebody who wasn't actually a Titan themselves, at least of what we, you know, how much we know, but that he was actually just a man that managed to, you know, deal with Titans, which is obviously something that we know of in Paradise, but, you know, like, we don't know to the extent of what, you know, this Helos guy, the technology that they had access to at the point of, you know what I mean, when he did this. But yeah, interesting. We had Udo, who was talking about, you know, his family actually came from the Mideast, or at least, you know, somewhere elsewhere, right? And that obviously that's the reason why he can talk, and he translated with that one dude in episode 1. But that he had a frame of reference for, you know, people outside and what their thoughts are on, you know, on aliens and everything like that, and everything that was going on. So interesting. I think it's interesting, actually, like, now that I think about it, that, you know, if, like, going back to the granddad, Aaron's granddad, that he was a physician, but that he also struggles, like, you know, even thinking back to what happened, you know, before with his daughter and everything like that actually gets to him. So he has, you know, psychotic episodes and things like that, but he's a physician. So, you know, I wonder if he's getting treated for it or not. Or maybe it's just that thing of, like, he keeps it locked away, and just because obviously he was sitting there talking with, like, Eren, it kind of just came out, and it's like he unlocked that memory again, and it just got to him. Maybe it could have been that. Yeah, so yeah, whoever that you know, that Asian woman, that Isna did, that, you know, saved Udo, really, really nice person. Like, she immediately covered up for him. But yeah, I mean, that could have been bad, because you hear them all just, like, you know, talking about, you know, the Eldians and everything like that. But, you know, for some reason this Asian woman, she was fine with, like, you know, she was fine with it. But it's interesting to see, like, how different people, I guess, of the world just, you know, just look at Eldians in that way. You know. So yeah, I guess we'll sort of end off at the towards the end of the episode. Obviously, when the festival starts and you have all the kids, and, you know, it's a sort of nice feeling, I suppose, for them, because obviously it's something that they've never had before, and so therefore it's, you know, it means a lot to them. You know what I mean? You see how excited they were. Like, shit like that would have just never happened in that place, you know. But because the Taibas came and you know, it's a really big deal, and they have that, you know, that they have that control of Mali, that they're able to do that, you know. And the, you know, the Taibas themselves, you know, at least Willie, you know what I mean, he feels that, obviously, that that responsibility, I suppose, for them, that like, it's a nice thing to do for them. But I think the one thing that actually got to us like right here was watching Reiner experience it, and him watching the kids experience it, because it's something that he would have never had before. And then therefore it's like, he had that slight smile, which it's nice of him to see, which is why, I'm so excited just to see this talk with Eren, because I feel like this can really air out some grievances. You know what I mean? Like, really get them on the same page, and maybe like make Reiner feel a little bit better about himself, because I think at the moment he's struggling a hell of a lot, so I just don't know how this is going to go, man. I really don't. Like, something's bound to go wrong, but I just... Because I already made sort of peace with the idea that if there was ever a talk between Eren and Reiner, it would be to air out grievances, not entirely make them, like, brothers again. Because, but I made peace with the fact of like, they're still going to be on enemy sides. But at least if they understand each other, I can live with that. I can live with that a bit, because I feel like it's so deserved. Reiner definitely needs it, and because he doesn't have anyone to talk to about it, Eren's the perfect person to do that with, So, yeah, man, fuck. I've said this before, but I can't wait to get, like... I mean, once everything's, like, sort of wrapped up, it's going to be so interesting to watch this again. From the start, knowing everything that's happened. So, yeah. I think that's pretty much it that I have. Not as long as of a discussion as previous ones and everything like that, but I suppose the next episode will be though, because that'll be well, I'm guessing that'll be when we learn this solution that Willy Tyburn's going to go on about and everything like that. So yeah, we'll wait and see. If I have missed anything, I do apologise. I'm still feeling like the effects of over the Christmas period, a lot of drinking, everything like that. So I do apologise. But if I do pick up on anything again, like during my editing of this episode, then I'll throw it in to the as like a text thing, like I usually do. But anyway, yeah, that is all I've got. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I have links to certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there if you wish. And I also have a Patreon page as well. So if you do want to support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards there, like early access. That's $5 a month. Gives you access to shows a week early. There's also the full-length tier. If you want to watch any of my reactions in full, and including this episode. And there's also the exclusive tier, which gives you access to the full-length movie reactions and everything like that. So, if you want to watch my full-length reactions to movies, that will be the tier for you. And we'll have a lot of movies being reacted to through 2021 as well. So, be ready for that. But yeah, I hope you all have a really, really good new year, and I hope fucking 2020 is much better than this year has been. You know what I mean? So yeah, hopes and fucking prayers go out to you. But yes, that was all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.